With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Lucky Land Casino, asking people, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
Lucky? In line at the deli, I guess?
Aha, in my dentist's office. More than once, actually.
Do I have to say?
Yes, you do.
In the car before my kids' PTA meeting.
Really?
Yes.
Excuse me, what's the weirdest place you've gotten lucky?
I never win and tell.
Well, there you have it. You can get lucky anywhere, playing at LuckyLandSlots.com. Play for free right now. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Welcome to Back to the Frame Rate, part of the Weston Media Podcast Network. Back to the Frame Rate, where we watch and discuss films on VOD and streaming platforms for your entertainment. I'm your host, Nathan Shore. I'm here with Eli Escobar, Brianna Butterworth, and filling in this week for Sam this week is actor Paul Kandarian. Paul is a full-time actor who's worked on films and commercials and also some screenwriting, I hear. So welcome, everyone, and welcome to our humble podcast, Paul.
Well, thank you. I'm glad to be here. I was kind of hoping Sam would be here, but then again, I wouldn't be. So maybe it's a good thing he's off in Canada. So.
Well, you know what? Since you mentioned Sam, I was going to save this for later, but Sam could not go a week without being represented in some capacity on the show. So,
hello, everyone. Sam Cole here. I'm one of the co-hosts of Back to the Frame Rate. You can also check me out on the YouTube travel adventure show. It's called Walks of World. My handle is Walks of World 1981, and I traverse all the far corners of the globe in search of adventure and spiritual enlightenment, and so far I have found none. Paul Kandarian, I wanted to welcome you to the podcast today. You're a very talented actor and a great human being, and I hope you have a fun time. I just wanted to warn you, these people are absolutely crazy. Keep your guard up the whole time. They know no sense of boundaries, especially Eli Escobar. Watch out for her. She is an absolute maniac. Anyway, that's it. I hope you have a great time. And I also just wanted to ask you, you are the definition of a working actor, and you get lots of work, and your career is robust and impressive. And so I just wanted to ask you, and I mean no offense, just out of curiosity, could you tell the viewers and the listeners how you go about finding so much work, and also what's it like having an expressionless cinder block for a face? Thank you very much, and have a great day.
I love you, Sam. I love you so much. It's funny because I always thought Sam Cole had an impressive cinder block for a whole fucking head. One of the biggest domes I've ever seen. I forget what he asked me. Oh, how do I find all this work? I hustle my ass off. You guys, I mean, Ellie, you got to hustle to find work.
You got to hustle. It's
yeah. Oh, that's it. I mean, Sam's not here to answer that, but to hear the answer. But yeah, no, that's it. That's I hustle a lot. So,
your credits are quite impressive, Paul. I will say I did look up, and we haven't had the chance to work, but we have crossed paths with a lot of fellow cast members and crew members in the New England area. So maybe the day will come, but it is.
It definitely will, because it's such a small cocoon of talent around here. It's an impressive cocoon at that. There's a lot of very talented folks here, and we all seem to cross paths. I went to a screening that Ryan Nunes, he's a kid down here in the Fairhaven, New Bedford area. Mm-hmm. He did put together a little screening of a bunch of films tied into mental health and mental health awareness. And there was some amazing films. I had a film in it that I wrote and directed and was in and all this stuff. And he had one to have to do with chronic pain. And it was very well received. But everybody there I knew of, I've worked with or wanted to work with. So the community around here is nuts. I still can't believe to this day I haven't worked with Ellie. You
I
know?
know. Like, what's up
I
with
know.
that? I
I
mean,
don't know. We're
honestly,
just gonna have to make our own stuff
we're
now.
gonna have to, and then Nathan's gonna
Yeah.
have to shoot it or something, direct it.
Yeah. Another thing I like the scene that's all short films these days too, because the entire world is ADHD. So,
It's so true. It's so
yeah,
true.
but
Oh
I
my goodness.
love making short films because you're in and out. I love doing commercials too because those are really quick. Do them for a day and you go and you get paid pretty decently.
You do.
But anyway, so yeah, that's me in a nutshell. Something I've always wanted to do since I was a wee lad growing up in Seacock, Mass. And I always wanted to be an actor. Never had the courage to try it till I was 54, 55. In 2007, I got into it. And I've just been playing English balls to the wall ever since. Man, I just love doing this stuff. Love it. And I live just to be on set or on stage, just to do theater once in a while.
That's great to hear.
Yeah, that's my crazoid life in a nutshell.
Thank you for sharing that, Paul. Well, let's get to the film we're going to be discussing on this episode, and it's going to be the 2003 film from Terry Zwigoff, I guess that's the correct pronunciation, Bad Santa. And I will read a quick plot synopsis that I found on the internet.
Must be true.
Here it is. Yes. In this dark comedy, the crotchety Willie T. Stokes, played by Billy Bob Thornton, and his partner, played by Tony Cox, reunites once a year for a holiday con. Posing as a mall Santa and his elf, they rip off shopping outlets on Christmas Eve. This year, however, Willie is falling apart. He's depressed and alcoholic, and his erratic behavior draws the suspicion of mall security. But when befriending a small boy brings out his kinder side, Willie begins to wonder if there's still some hope for him. So I am going to just cue up the trailer for Bad Santa here.
When it came to holiday spirit, Willie's never had it.
It's not real.
Well, it was real. I got sick and all the hair fell out.
How'd you get sick?
I loved a woman that wasn't clean.
Mrs. Santa?
No, it was her sister.
Oh, no. Where's your sleigh?
It's in the shop.
Where's the reindeer?
I stable them.
Where's the stable?
Next to the shop.
How do they sleep?
Are you messing with me? There's something about the guy that makes me uneasy.
Now, a hopeless kid
Wedgie
and a Santa nobody liked are teaching each other a lesson.
Is that your underwear?
Part of it.
Where the hell's the rest of it? Actually, don't tell me. I don't want to know. Put your dukes up. You got to learn to stand up for yourself.
Oh, no.
Scream at him.
Ah!
Jeez.
He is pathetic.
Scream! Be loud!
You don't hit in the...
What's wrong with you? He's just a kid.
I told you I didn't want to do this, huh?
All right, so that's part of the trailer from Bad Santa. And I guess the first question I want to ask, what is everyone's history with this film? Is anyone seen this for the first time here?
No, I saw it when it came out, but I haven't seen it since then. So it was definitely kind of memory hold for me.
Ellie, have you seen this before?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
I've seen it before. I've forgotten some things of it, but
yeah, I forgot a lot of. I saw this. I was actually working at a Blockbuster when this came out, and I had a chance to see it probably on DVD. I took it home one time, so it's probably been about 19 years since I saw this. Now, here's the other question I want to ask. There are multiple versions of this film available. There's a theatrical cut, an unrated cut, and a director's cut. What version did you guys watch to prepare for this?
I think I probably watched just the theatrical cut.
Okay. I did too.
I streamed
it. That's the only one I've ever seen. I want to see the outtakes because they got to be funny. I know that there's a couple of special. I love outtakes anyway. But yeah, I watch it every year, sometimes two or three times a year, just because it's so goddamn funny.
So much Bad Santa.
So much Bad Santa, and it's just so irreverent. I love irreverent humor. I just love it. I love.
So, Paul, you're the guest. You're the fan of this. I'll jump right onto you here. Tell me, what is it about Bad Santa that you're such a big fan of? Give me your general thoughts on this film. What is it about this film?
He's the Antichrist of Santa's, the anti-hero, whatever. Here, Santa Claus is a warm and fuzzy and fat and bearded and avuncular and then nice to kids. This guy is a piece of shit. And I love that. He just doesn't care And in the end, he gets shot in the back, 8 times by 8 cops and
Yeah, he
whatever.
gets really John Wicked.
Yeah, totally. Yeah, he's getting ripped apart. But he's got that little pink, elephant that the kid wanted in his hand. That was his moment of redemption. When you figure this guy's so far gone down the rabbit hole, drunk out of his mind, humping fat women all over the place because that was his thing. That's not my thing. That was his thing. This guy's beyond redemption. But the little kid who never had a name, he just went by the kid, whose name was Brett Kelly, by the way.
Thurman Merman.
No, Brett. Yeah,
Thurman
Merman,
but
he never. But he called him the kid.
Yeah.
He just wanted a pink stuffed elephant, and he had it, and he's laying on the front stoop. He's trying to get the kid, and he puts his hand up down, and you think he's dead. I said, "Oh man, this is perfect," But his redemption was he sued the shit out of the police department. So the cops shot him like 8 times, and he couldn't kill him. And so he sued him, got a bunch of money. So I don't know. I just love everything that's the opposite of expectation, because that's all humor is. It's the opposite of expectation. You think one thing's going to happen, and boom, they do the opposite. And this is the absolute epitome of the opposite of expectation. It was so wonderfully done. It was a Coen Brothers movie too, so they're out of their mind. So it's all good. What's his name? Roger Ebert. He was
loved
pretty
it too.
stuffy.
Yeah.
He loved it. Yeah, he loved it. I just like that. You don't know what to expect, and then the totally bizarre stuff happens. And an Academy Award winner, I think she did, Cloris Leachman, right? I think she won an Academy Award.
Yes,
she was in it. She said, like, "I'll make you sandwiches." That was her line for the whole thing. Other than that, she just kind of sat in her, droopy stockings and nightgown watching TV. Never did anything. And it was just a perfect movie, perfect comedy movie, dark, black comedy. It's the absolute embodiment of black comedy, and it was terrific. That's why I watch it every year, and then immediately maybe go watch It's a Wonderful Life just to balance things out.
So, if you were to give this a star rating from 1 to 5?
Oh, 5. Yeah. Or if you want to do the Spinal Tap thing, 11. But
right. I apologize. I jumped the gun. B, I forgot to do your movie facts before I was so eager to hear what Paul had to say about this.
No, but, we can keep rolling with reviews. That doesn't bother me at all. We'll just we'll loop them all in.
We'll loop them all in as we go. That's fine. Ellie. Yeah, well, we both jumped to Ellie.
What did you think?
Ellie was so surprised. Ellie gets the elf in the headlight look there.
Sorry, Ellie.
So what I think about the movie, well, I love Billy. I think he's hot. He's skinny. He's like, yes, he's skinny mini, but I love skinny men. Sorry. No, not sorry. I really think he's hot. It's like something about him. I don't know if it's the eyes. I think it's the eyes that just grabbed me.
He does have nice eyes.
See what I mean? See, so
that's the only thing I'm going to say.
Throughout the movie, I thoroughly enjoy. Okay, can I say the word asshole here?
I think this is an uncensored episode.
Oh, it's gonna be.
Okay, mind you that he's
outtakes on Patreon.
Yeah, okay, he's an asshole, but I think he's been bitter because I think he's been like let down throughout life, and so he, how some people just are mean because they just had a really bad childhood. I think that's what happens to. What's his name anyway?
Billy Bob Thornton?
No, in the movie.
Willie Stokes.
Oh my goodness. I don't know. But let me tell you something. I really loved this movie. The first time I saw it, I laughed my pants off, and I loved it the second time around. There wasn't anything about this movie that I did not like. I love what's the proper name to call them?
Little people.
Okay,
little man,
I love the little man in the movie. There's a scene in the movie where they're fighting in the ring, and
I love that
scene. The way he just falls.
Yeah, he felt like stiff. He was
it's so weird. It's so funny. I just cracked myself up. Anyhow, I really I don't know what to say. I mean, there's nothing wrong with the movie. I, like Paul, give it 5 stars. It's an enjoyable movie. It's the boy, the kid.
The kid. Yeah.
I felt so bad for him. The
Yeah.
fact that he has no parents and he's basically living alone, and then he comes Billy, and he becomes kind of like his caretaker, but in a way, I just feel that he's the little boy is I just the scenes with the little boy were kind of sad for me
Yeah,
because
they're
he's
very
just
heartbreaking.
reaching out to have
Yeah.
someone in his life to just, especially when he brings like the
Pickle?
Advent
no,
calendar.
not the pickle, the grades, and he's like, oh look, here's my
Yeah.
grades, and I don't know. I love everything. I love the little man. I love the little kid. I love Billy. I love the young what's his girlfriend in the movie?
Oh, Lois. Yeah.
Yeah.
Gilmore Girls.
Lauren Tom.
That's all I can think of.
Lauren
Yeah,
Graham.
she was terrific. She's been in a lot of good
She
stuff. She was in the
is.
Joy Luck
Yeah.
Club. She was on Friends. She was pretty good actress.
Yeah, she's very pretty too.
Yeah.
So I just enjoyed it. I have nothing bad to say. I think everyone should take a look at this movie. Yes, be
God,
ready to sometimes be like, what the F? Moments in the movie, because it's so, I don't know, it's just so like he doesn't care. He's gonna tell you what he thinks of you.
Yeah.
And and it's kind of gross that he's dealing with children and he pees and he's drunk, and in real life that's never gonna happen, I hope. But
Really? What country do you live in?
what, you think it happens in real life? I don't think it happens in real life.
I'm sure it is in some form in real life. Although that boxing scene was one of the greatest nut punch sequences in cinema history.
Yes,
The nut punch daisy chain. I'm telling
We
you,
should
it was-
collate that list.
It's a letterbox list. Really.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I liked
I gotta
it.
go with
I-
Paul Newman kicking Ted Cassidy in the groin, and Butch Cassidy. Anyway, go ahead. Sorry.
As bad as it is, I loved it and I recommend it.
Because you have a sense of humor, Ellie, and
Yeah.
that's good.
And I understand sarcasm, I believe. I do.
You have a what?
Sarcasm.
Oh, yeah.
Sarcasm.
Yeah.
I do understand
that's
sarcasm.
Yeah.
I can be sarcastic too.
Well,
Yes,
you know.
yes, you can.
We've seen it. Ellie, what's your MVP scene?
Oh,
Or
come
MVP
on.
moment in the movie?
Oh,
The ring
The
scene.
boxing.
the ring,
I
yeah.
thought that might be it.
Okay.
That's my favorite scene.
Yeah, that's one of the best scenes. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think.
Oh, there's so many goddamn great scenes in that movie, though. Oh.
All right. B, do you want to rock, paper, scissors for this? Or
No, you go.
all right, I'll go. Okay, so I was just saying, I haven't seen this in about 19 years. And what I do remember, though, when I saw this back then, I'll be honest, I'm glad there's two people on here that love this movie. Because when I saw this even 19 years ago, I'm giving you a 19-year-old review. I wasn't that amazed by it back then. So only thing I could recall at that time is that seriously enticed me to check this out was the fact that John Ritter was in this. And I grew up a huge fan, mostly of his work from Three's Company, because I loved that show and it was in syndication during my formative years growing up. So, but he's not in this movie that much. That's the thing. And I think the scenes that he is in, it's very bittersweet. And I think his scenes he's criminally underused in this movie because I think he's an interesting character that it just isn't used properly in this movie. But those, I think, are some of the best scenes in this movie where him and Bernie Mac are riffing off each other. I think that there's a lot of comedy that could have been mined even better from those moments. They were fun. There's not a lot, I have to say, that's really praiseworthy toward this movie.
So I was letting you go first.
See what I mean? I felt the same way.
I feel bad saying this because I know how much love there is for this movie in this room right now. But this story doesn't feel like this doesn't feel like it's a real movie to me. It feels like
it's
like
a
an
movie
idea.
that your movie's watching. It feels
An
like
idea? Are you kidding? You and I were not watching the same movie, okay?
Let me finish. It feels like it's like an elongated SNL sketch to me. Like if you strip away the scenes that meander away from the central plot, there's so many things that meander away. if you strip that away, this would be like a 55-minute movie if you get down to the plot of this. I think that there's so many scenes, like the scene where we have Bernie Mac where he's catching the shoplifting kid. It's a great moment with Bernie Mac, and I think he's good in this. But it has nothing to do with the plot or the scene. There's a really, I think, unfortunate scene that I don't think ages well, where Billy Bob Thornton's like assaulted by a homophobic man, where it's, I don't think really is that good. And there's a lot of stuff where he's just being exceedingly cruel to kids. And I get the joke. And it goes on and on and on. And I found this to be a lot of filler. And it didn't like add to the character. I got who Billy Bob Thornton, who his character was immediately. And I felt like I was getting hammered over the head with the same character notes over and over. Now, also, this is a bizarrely paced film as well. I can't seem to figure out if it wants to be a raunchy comedy where the jokes will come, like normally they come fast and furious. I think of the pacing you get with like some early Judd Apatow films like 40-Year-Old Virgin or other R-rated comedies like maybe like The Hangover. I'm not necessarily comparing to that, but I think there's like a kinetic energy to those films that it's racing along. Bad Santa is a slow movie. And it's got this dirgy, depressing, slow spiral down the drain feel to it. And I go as far to say I compare this more to Leaving Las Vegas than any of those other really great R-rated comedies from the early mid-2000s.
Nathan,
yeah.
I think to your point, I think there's the comedies that came out in 2003 like weren't great. Like I don't think this is a great time for comedy. You had Kangaroo Jack bringing down the house.
Well, I didn't go there. I don't know what else. The first thing I thought was like 40-Year-Old Virgin and maybe Knocked Up and things of that. And that's a different taste. But I'm also just thinking of like the pacing of the jokes. These aren't jokes to me. This is just cruel rants of just people just I don't know. Like erectile dysfunction jokes aren't funny to me. I don't know. This isn't the 90s.
Oh, you wait what happens to you.
I'm not saying it doesn't happen. I just think that it's like, I don't know.
I think
I don't know. The last time I suffered a bout of erectile dysfunction, I laughed my ass off. So
it is a funny topic.
I guess it can be. I know. Okay. Maybe that's not the best.
The pace of it. The pace is intentionally a little more methodical because if it hit you over the head like a fast-paced comedy, it would be really depressing because then it wouldn't be that funny because there's just a lot of it going on. But if you pace out the dark humor, I think dark humor films and scenarios have to be paced a little bit more slowly so you can savor them.
I get that, but that's what I feel like. Is this a comedy? Is this more of a
it's a comedy
drama?
Definitely a comedy.
What did you think it was, Nathan?
No, but I feel like I need to. It wants to be a comedy, but I think it really is a.
With the Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
This is your captain speaking. We've got clear runway and the weather's fine, but we're just going to circle up here a while and get lucky. No, nothing like that. It's just these cash prizes add up quick. So I suggest you sit back, keep your tray table upright, and start getting lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Are you feeling lucky? No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+ terms and conditions apply. See website for details. With Lucky Land Slots, you can get lucky just about anywhere.
Dearly beloved, we are gathered here today to... Has anyone seen the bride and groom?
Sorry, we're here. We were getting lucky in the limo and we lost track of time.
No, Lucky Land Casino, with cash prizes that add up quicker than a guest registry.
In that case, I pronounce you lucky.
Play for free at LuckyLandSlots.com. Daily bonuses are waiting. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
A drama, or it's something. It's a comedy in the box of a of something
redemption story.
else. Yeah.
You know what's really weird? IMDb, I think it had it listed as a comedy thriller. It says, what the fuck? Thriller? Hardly a thriller, you know. But
It's the most depressing movie I've seen in a long
Dep-
time, and I've seen some depressing
You
movies.
thought it was depressing?
Absolutely.
No, see, Ellie and I, we love sarcastic humor. We love
Yeah,
dark
yeah. I did not
I
find it
too,
depressing.
but I'm giving you examples of things like I get like the Judd Apatow movies and Hangover. Not all of them are good at all, but I'm just saying like I can go for R-rated raunchy movies, and like the Jennifer Lawrence movie that just came out. We both agreed LA was great return to like an adult like R-rated modern adult comedy, you know, but like there's some good stuff that when it's done right, that funny jokes coming at you quickly. But I just found this to be not even jokes, but just like slams on people. Tony Cox. All he does is just bash and bash and bash. You are the biggest piece of filthy maggot over and over. Like, oh my God. Like,
I have that quote.
I know.
I have that quote right here.
You just didn't like his fat sausage fingers, then.
I don't know. I just found it just, you know, it's okay. I've gone on. I ranted.
You did rant it.
My point is been noted. So, anyways, I'm giving this 1.5 stars out of 5.
No.
I'm out of here.
That's horrible.
I'm glad I watched this. This is still a fascinating film because there's nothing else like this. I'm not against this movie. It's just it really is not for me, I guess is what it is. This kind of humor just doesn't really roll off me as much as others, because I don't find these to be jokes. There are just a few moments. I love the moment of the reveal of Thurman Merman's name. I thought, because it's held back until the last moment. He's like, your name is Thurman Merman. I thought that reveal was funny because that wasn't like just a slam. There was a few moments like this. The scene with Bernie Mac and John Ritter, I thought was funny, where they're kind of riffing, man's a sexual beast or whatever it was. You know, like
Ritter's reaction when he goes, he just makes that perfect John Ritter face.
Great. John Ritter's great. There's some funny moments in this, which I laughed out loud a couple times, maybe 3 times in this movie. But anyways, okay, I'm gonna hand this over to B before I steal all her thunder.
I also didn't love it. I maybe didn't hate it that much, but I really didn't love it. I do think most of it was just not my humor, like just mean-spirited for the sake of it. And I do think the side characters were more interesting and they were funnier every time. Like I didn't think Billy Bob's whole shtick was that funny, but I did think a lot of what else was happening, like Bernie Mac and John Ritter, was pretty funny, and I sort of wish that had been fleshed out more. And it just, that's what kind of kept me watching, was to be able to see that. But I didn't like it for this other reason, which is maybe a little bit different. That genre, that really specific genre of like grizzled older man riddled with ennui suddenly finds himself saddled with a feisty young person who just like melts the ice around their heart. That's not my movie. I'm not interested in that story. I'm like, you know, what was it, like Susie Q or Curly Sue, that one, the Wim Wenders movie, Alice in the City. Like, I just don't like, I don't like kids as a plot device for men learning how to feel emotions. Like, I think that's really boring. So it just, that wasn't gonna be my movie anyway, but then it just
that's why they make pistachio ice cream. Speaking of sappy movies like men seeking redemption through little kids, remember the movie Savannah Smiles? Way back in '82. I actually cried watching that movie before I had kids too. And I must have been stoned because I didn't have kids and I smoked dope a lot. But yeah, I know what you mean about that. But that's what I would love about Bad Santa is because you're not expecting a Santa Claus to be that reprehensible. And he is.
We have the Grinch.
That's
you expect
different.
that from the Grinch.
That's
different.
Grinch,
Just Grinch, you know. But Santa Claus.
Just I didn't like how Laurie Graham, his girlfriend, was used in the movie.
It was
just
weird.
Super flat.
Yeah, she was my least favorite character.
She was just super flat. It was fine. You know, like it had some funny moments. I thought it was fine. But when you look at like within a few weeks of each other in 2003, Love Actually and Elf are also released. So it's like I
Elf,
don't even think it holds up amongst the Christmas movies that year. Like if I'm in movie theaters in 2003, Bad Santa's not it. Bad Santa's probably last for me.
Well, no, it doesn't hold up to those movies. Those are totally different type of movies. But as opposed to, this movie and this movie, I feel it did its job, which is dark comedy, and comedy is not always. Comedy can be painful sometimes.
I think it did what it did on purpose. I didn't like its purpose. That's just.
I mean,
like I don't think it had a poor execution. I think it executed what it wanted to well. I just wasn't on board with the mission.
Believe me, coming out of noir films, I'm good.
Yeah,
I'm so good.
Ellie
I just heard somebody in an NPR the other day were talking about bad Christmas movies, and he mentioned Love Actually, and I haven't seen it, but the way he described it sounds like
Love Actually is so
schmaltzy.
boring.
It's very schmaltzy.
Got a backlash now.
It sounds like they would drop a diabetic.
So cheesy.
It's super cheesy.
It's Cheetos cheesy.
But I would still rather see. For me, I'd rather see Cheetos cheesy than someone just be a jerk for a couple of hours. Like that wasn't for me. But that was just me. So, for me, out of 5 stars, I would give it 2.5 because I'd watch it again. I mean, I watch it this time. I'd watch it again. Someone puts it on, I'm not going to walk out the room.
I think I'm done with it. The one thing I do like the fact that
I'm done with it too.
Yeah.
Oh no, I'm going to watch it now.
The way the cool thing is though, they shot this to look like a classic Christmas movie. It has this like filter on it, this whole like sheen to it that you look at it, it feels like it looks like a Hallmark movie, and you wouldn't expect it to have this.
I think that works. I think on a production level, this movie is pretty good.
That's part of the brilliance of the whole thing.
Oh yeah. It is well crafted. Absolutely. So I'm not. It has its audience, it has its niche. There's such a huge cult following for this film, obviously, and I'm not begrudging anybody who loves this movie, appreciates this movie. I get it. So power to you. Absolutely.
We're a house divided.
Again. There was nothing I wanted to bring up here. There's one of my favorite scenes. I will bring this up here because there are some things I really did love. I love about this. There is a moment where after they do their heist in the beginning of the movie, where Billy Bob Thornton and Tony Cox, they're at the bar, and Billy Bob Thornton is saying that like, I'm totally out. I'm going to go straight. I'm quitting drinking. I'm going to go down to Florida. I'm going to buy a bar, and I'm going to bartend. I'm going to marry a waitress. And the next scene you see him down in Florida behind a bar. He's in a Hawaiian shirt and he's mixing a drink. And then it's revealed that he's just like a slow life, and he's just a customer, and he snuck behind the bar making himself a drink. I love that moment, and that kind of humor I dig, and I really thought that was one of the highlights of the movie. Absolutely. And I think it's cool that it's a Christmas movie that takes place barely in any wintry locations. You're in Florida, you're in Arizona, right? Phoenix. And I just love that juxtaposition that, you're in some of the hottest places in the country during a Christmas movie. And I think that's a wonderful scene. The Santa outfit does not fit him well at all. It's
perfect.
Dirty. It's some great costuming and production design in this. It's really, really cool.
Well, I tell you, it's more of a Christmas movie than Die Hard, which everybody insists is a Christmas movie, and it isn't. Sorry, I see worked up about that. Do you remember what Marcus said to Billy Bob before he left for Florida? He said, if I call you next December, you're going to be so happy to hear from me. You're going to do a goddamn backflip. You're going to put that Santa hat on so fast that you're going to get fucking hat burn.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
It's a great line.
That is a good joke. It's a
great joke. And then they show him behind the bar in Florida, and he's like, well, look, he's got a bar now. No, he doesn't.
He turned it around. Yeah.
No, it was great.
No. So yeah, I don't know. I mean, do we have anything else here? There's something else I thought about asking you guys. There is a sequel to this, but let's not even think about that for a moment. The movie has it? I think, Paul, you said you kind of like the ending of this. I thought it was a very odd ending where you see him shot 8 times on the front steps. You don't see, there's no like moment where you see him even surviving this. You just hear like a voiceover and I thought that was a very odd choice.
They didn't need any recovery, blah blah. They just went from the one action to the next action. He's shot. You think he's dead, and all of a sudden he's reading a letter from jail, and the kid's happy at the swimming pool with the girlfriend. And they didn't need to fill that blank in because you were getting the end of the movie. They just did the end of the movie. I like that. I don't like unnecessary filler. And
so you answered my question. I was going to ask, did this movie end at the right moment for you?
Yeah, exactly at the right moment.
It didn't end too early or too late. It didn't overstay its welcome for you. No.
It wasn't that. I can't remember how long it was, but it was in movies these days.
92 minutes, so it's pretty brisk.
See, movies, it's so self-indulgent these days, like 4-hour movies, 5-hour movies. Who the hell wants to sit through a movie that long? Unless you're watching it at home and you can pause it to go take a leak. In the theater, you're going to miss half the freaking movie. I hate long movies. There's no reason for long movies. It's just an indulgent, it's an ode to the director's brilliance because look at me, I can do a 4-hour movie. I'm Martin Scorsese, who I love, by the way. But movies should be 2 hours, and comedies should be an hour and a half. So it's a perfect length for a comedy.
Yes, at most.
Since no one asked, I'm saying it. There should be an hour and a half.
I think most movies should be an hour and a half.
Yeah. That's why I like short films. Cut to the chase. Cut the bullshit. Just tell me the story. Give me the inverted pyramid. I say that as a journalist. But.
If Billy Bob Thornton was not the lead in this, who else do you see in this movie as the main character? Anyone else want to jump on this? And I don't know if in your movie facts, B, did you come up with any other casting? There were a couple others, but I'm going to save that for a moment to see if anybody has thoughts. Because there was one that I read about that I thought would have been interesting and I could see it. But
okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right. ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18+. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
Before we get to there, anybody?
I got one.
Yes.
Nicolas Cage.
Well, he would just shoot up scenery like nobody's business. That's for sure.
I could see it. I could see it totally. Yeah.
Actually, I think I'd like that.
Yeah,
I think I'd like that.
Yeah.
So I think it's I applaud Billy Bob Thornton for having the courage to take on this role. One of the pieces of trivia that I did read that the role was offered to Dennis Leary.
I can see that he's a pretty acerbic
and
depressive
when I was thought about it, I think I'd like that more because I actually am a fan of Dennis Leary, and not so much Billy Bob Thornton. Because when I actually looked at his filmography, I know Ellie, you think he's hot, but I looked at his movies and I had him up here a moment ago, and I realized I'm not a Billy Bob Thornton fan. I'm looking at it. I'm like, man, what do I love of his? What
Sling Blade? Sling Blade. You can't love Sling Blade.
Oh, that's
all right. And I love when he talks like this.
I feel. I'll admit I haven't seen Sling Blade probably since 1996.
Yeah.
I need to revisit. I need to revisit Sling Blade.
So good. How about a Simple Plan?
I have to hold that. Simple Plan. He's like. He's good. Yes. Simple Plan is a good movie.
Bill Paxton. Was Bill Paxton in
Bill Paxton is in it. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
But this is 1996, 1997.
But the monster's ball. The monster's fucking ball.
I love him in these movies.
Gotta love the monster's ball.
I don't know.
Halle Berry and Peter Boyle.
That was a great movie. I really loved that movie.
Awesome movie.
I don't know if he's the reason why I like these movies, or if I like them. It's been so long.
What's a good
I
ensemble?
realize that I don't revisit these movies that he's in, and I don't know why. But he is not somebody that I am ever in a rush when there's a Billy Bob Thornton movie, I'm like,
Oh, that's true. Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know what it is. I realize that I might not be a Thornton fan.
He was Davy Crockett. How can you not love Davy Crockett? King of the Wild Frontier.
Oh my God, he was. I totally forgot about that.
Yeah.
He dated Angelina Jolie too.
Huh?
Well, that was a
he
weird
did, yeah.
phase. That was a weird phase.
It was a weird romance. But
She's
I
wild.
love him.
Oh, Octavia Spencer was in that movie for a little bit.
Was
I
she
like Octavia Spencer.
was Octavia Spencer the woman that was in the changing room with him? Or was that or
I don't remember.
No, she's one of the prostitutes on the outside.
She was a prostitute. She was not okay because he was like in the big and the big. I was about to say big and tall.
No, we don't never see who's in there.
You never see it, but she's the one that says I couldn't poop right for a week or something like that.
Yes, that's her.
Oh, no. Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. Like, is this the same woman that was in the dressing room?
No.
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 Okay.
I don't think it was. I can check the cast list, but I don't know.
Yeah.
He was in Friday Night Lights too, which I never saw, but I heard it was good. TV show. So he's done a lot of stuff.
He's done a lot of stuff. I can't think of this anything I've been like. I mean, Bad Santa probably is his most iconic role.
Yeah, well,
maybe Sling Blade, but like I'm trying to think, like,
yeah.
is he really reached greater heights than Bad Santa? I don't know.
Not a bad height. It's a good height.
I mean, bigger. I don't know, but I'm just,
No,
I don't know. Anyways, I don't know. I guess I'll just mention, if I had to have an MVP of this movie, I think it's just the scene between John Ritter and Bernie Mac. I think they only have like 2 scenes, but I think it's the one moment where I think the movie just kind of has an energy to it that was my wavelength. So I don't know if anybody else have an MVP that they didn't bring up yet.
Well, it hasn't been brought up. No,
I
think
think
the boxing
everybody.
scene is. I roared at that thing. I know Ellie liked that one too.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's my favorite scene. It's pretty good. And shooting Santa. Come on. It doesn't get better than that.
And I hope that many kids saw that happen.
Yeah. That was a great thing. The reaction of the kids across the street, they're looking and go, "What?" They're screaming to watch Santa get shot. That's perfect. I love that.
Yeah.
Got to learn someday, kid. It ain't a perfect world. Anyway, that wasn't in the movie. That was me. But yeah, the boxing scene, I think, was my MVP scene.
Okay. Well.
What, Ellie? What do you think? Ellie's the hat too tight. Come on.
No, can I plead the fifth?
Okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
In B's favorite scene or MVP scene? Did you already say?
Oh, well, I thought.
Wait a minute.
So for me I mean, I do love the ring scene. I really do. That's like my favorite. But if I had to pick another, okay, I know this is, but I really enjoy when he beat the shit out of that kid.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
I am like, yes, go for it, do it. Yeah, I really do.
That was so.
Actually, the following scene I think is really good, where he's talking to Tony Cox, and he says that he's turned a corner, and it's like his redemption moment where he realizes that he thinks he's on the right path because he beat up some kids, and it's a great character moment for him. I think where I forget exactly how the dialogue goes, but it's and he realized that he's a better person because he beat up some kids.
Yeah.
And that was a good moment for the movie, for sure. Yeah.
I was really excited about that.
Yeah. So, all right. Anything else? I think this, before we close the book on Bad Santa, I want to circle back around. B, was there any other information about the movie that did not come up that you researched, or are we good?
Nah, I was just going to go over some of the basic production, top line stuff. So.
I think we're fine.
It didn't make a
I was
ton of
fine
money.
with not learning more about Bad Santa.
Okay. All right, then.
It made $77 million worldwide, which is not a colossal sum. It's $128 million today. So, I mean, it's good money. So
Did anybody see the Bad Santa 2 though? Right after?
No, because I hate sequels unless it's Godfather.
Yeah.
Absolutely hate them. I cannot watch a sequel. Jaws, I love. Favorite movie of all time. Jaws 2. Suck. And I just saw the Shark is Broken in New York, The second to last day of the run. That was really good. That was, and it's a great play for actors because it shows actors, commiserating about acting, waiting around on the boat. This sucks, blah blah blah. And I can't remember who did what. But the Dreyfus character was phenomenal. Ian Shaw wrote it with somebody else. Ian Shaw is Robert Shaw's son. The very last scene of the play was Ian Shaw doing the Indianapolis monologue. And so I'm sitting there, and I think everybody else was just reciting it along with him because everybody knows that monologue. It was a really great play. So anyway, that's neither here nor there, but it's a great piece of work on Broadway.
Neither here nor there, not anywhere.
Oh, that sounds familiar.
All right. Well, I think we can close the book on Bad Santa. Thank you for this enlightening conversation. So before we continue, we just want to thank everyone for tuning into the show. Your feedback on our discussion of Bad Santa means a lot to us. And if you agree or disagree with our opinions on the film, we'd love to hear from you. You can email us at backtotheframerate@gmail.com or connect with us on Facebook, Instagram, Threads, or TikTok at Back to the Frame Rate. Your support is greatly appreciated, so please take a moment and leave a rating or review on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or your preferred podcast app. We highly recommend you subscribe to our newsletter, Frame Rate Monthly. This newsletter is packed with details about our podcast, including what we're currently watching, upcoming discussion topics, interactive polls, and other engaging content. To subscribe to our newsletter, simply send an email to us at backtotheframerate@gmail.com and be sure to include newsletter in the subject line. Words are hard tonight. Oh, man. The December issue just got sent out probably by the time this episode drops. So, all right. So next up.
Can you say that in one breath?
I probably breathed a little bit. Who knows? So we are going to head into our recommendation shelf.
Sir.
What?
Are either one of these any good?
I don't watch movies.
Well, have you heard anything about either one of them?
I find it's best to stay out of other people's affairs.
You mean you haven't heard anybody say anything about either one of these?
Nope.
Well, what about these two?
Oh, they suck.
All right, so we are going to be recommending films that feature deplorable anti-heroes. And I think there was debate whether we just do anti-heroes. And I said deplorable anti-heroes because I want the worst of the worst. Terrible people in films. So.
Really?
Yeah, I like terrible people.
Paul,
and I think
you have that voice, man. You have that voice. You have it.
Oh, really? What voice is that, baby?
Well, the one that you just did.
Fake silkiness to
You
it.
can't have two actors in your past.
Ellie, do your phone voice that we talked about. Your what was it?
So I'm taking
your 900 voice. What is it? No, never mind.
1-800 SEX. I can't.
She has another career waiting for her. I'm telling you. Yeah.
Si quieres un poco de amor, ven aquí, te lo daré. Bésame mucho, mucho, mucho.
That's why we probably couldn't work together. We'd be laughing the entire
Wait,
time.
what? Oh, goodness. But that's what would make it so much better.
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to get us back on track here. Deplorable Anti-Heroes is our recommendation shelf theme this week, to tie into our review of Bad Santa. And I am going to, I'm going to nominate B to begin with this week's recommendation.
Heck yeah. So I went for Trainspotting, which really I think you could pick any character in Trainspotting.
You really could. Anyone in particular that comes to mind is like the worst of the worst? There are a couple, but
I'm thinking Rent Boy. I mean, they definitely get worse than him in this movie, but I think he's our anti-hero kind of character. We see it from his perspective. If somehow Trainspotting has escaped you, I think you should see it. That's a
Okay, round 2. Name something that's not boring.
A laundry? Ooh, a book club. Computer solitaire, huh?
Ah, sorry, we were looking for Chumba Casino. That's right, ChumbaCasino.com has over 100 casino-style games. Join today and play for free for your chance to redeem some serious prizes. ChumbaCasino.com. No purchase necessary. Void where prohibited by law. 18 plus. Terms and conditions apply. See website for details.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
For me, a great example of people behaving badly, but just somehow really kind of getting you on their side. And I love the way it looks. I just love Danny Boyle movies. I think they're great. I think that's a great example of a Danny Boyle movie. Yeah, everybody should check it out.
And
I think it's only.
Go ahead.
I think it's only available for rent right now, though, which is a little bit of a bummer.
And I was going to say, just an incredible soundtrack too. So yeah,
So
I think almost every Danny Boyle film has come up on a recommendation shelf by now, but there's nothing wrong with that. So yeah, good pick, B. Ellie.
I don't know transporting. Transporting. I don't even know how to say the word. I don't even know what the word means. Transporting, like transportation?
Spotting.
Train,
Like you spot a train.
train spotting.
See it.
Train spotting? Spotting a train?
Spotting, like, look, I
Like-
spotted. Yeah.
Yeah.
My pick was the Joker.
First of all, we're gonna make you watch Train Spotting.
No.
Yes.
It's pretty gross.
No.
It's a gross movie.
No.
I haven't seen it.
You already made me watch films that I did not want to watch. I mean,
this one's really
we're
good.
talking. Let's go back to the very beginning, as like always. Okay, I was not a fan of that film, and so
Really?
no. Well, I fell asleep.
Oh, it's a beautiful. It was
He's
Audrey
bringing out
Hepburn's last
right
movie.
now.
It was-
Just like, you won't make me watch Danny Boyle.
No,
Really?
no. I don't even. No, no. Anything else? I'll watch The Exorcist all over again if I have to. Okay, but the Joker, because of course, one of my favorite actors, Joaquin Phoenix, is in that movie, because what is there not to love about the Joker? He did such an amazing job with the film, and yeah, I think it's a very popular film. I think most people probably already watched this film, but if you have not watched the Joker, I would recommend it, because he's one of those characters, it's an anti-hero. But I also felt bad for him. I felt bad because he grew. I feel like most anti-heroes, and in real life humans, I'm not talking about movie characters, but I feel like most anti-heroes are come from a very traumatic childhood. And it's unfortunate and it's sad, because here I am in my own little bubble, Ellie's world, and everything's happy and colorful and like rainbow colors, right? Pink and blue and yellow. And, I eat pink cupcakes. But then, you are faced with the reality of life in this world. It's a lot of anti-heroes are out there that do cause real harm, And so I feel like for the Joker, it's one of those instances where I don't think he was very much loved growing up, and this is the result.
Yeah. It's a good pick, Ellie. So yeah, definitely. Joker is streaming on Max and Prime Video, so a couple places where you can get it, can see it. My pick, let's see, this week for Deplorable Anti-Heroes is I'm going to mention the character first. His name is Louis Bloom, and as brilliantly portrayed by Jake Gyllenhaal in the 2014 film Nightcrawler, directed by Dan Gilroy.
Yeah.
When we first encounter Louis, he's a small-time thief, but his ambition quickly propels him into a new career as a freelance videographer, which I can relate to because this is what I did for a while. Not in the same vein as this guy, but he goes around capturing crime scenes and accidents in Los Angeles, selling the footage to news outlets.
Mm,
I'm a really big Jake Gyllenhaal fan,
me
and
too.
in my opinion, this is his best performance he's done so far. He flawlessly embodies a character whose moral compass is just utterly compromised, driven by ambition, and cloaked in a pathological facade of arrogance, against the backdrop of it's got this exceptional psychological thriller. The film explores this like dark underbelly of media sensationalism and this relentless pursuit of success. And even at the expense of one's humanity, Louis Bloom just stands out as a really, truly remarkable anti-hero. So I love this movie so much. I've seen it a couple times. I want to watch it again. So definitely check this out if you haven't seen it. It's streaming on Max right now.
Great pick,
Yeah,
Nathan. Great
thank you.
pick.
So, Paul, do you have anything you want to
I was
recommend?
going
Or
to say the Joker because again, I'm with Ellie on with great minds kind of thing. But I can't pick a charity did. But Michael Corleone in Godfather 2, man. Oof. 'Cause he's
Oh,
cold
He's
as,
a bad dude.
Italian ice, man. And
well, yeah,
oh god,
mhm.
and that was the only sequel I'll ever watch. They did Godfather 3, and it just sucked the big one. It was horrible. Luckily, Sophia went on to be a great director because she was a terrible actor. But yeah,
he
he was
wasn't good at it. No,
perfect anti-hero. Reluctantly drawn into the game, the family business, and then he just embodied it totally, and he just became this horrible human being. He had Freddie killed. Fredo. Fredo was an innocent man.
I know. Poor Fredo.
Poor Fredo.
Hey, no spoilers. No spoilers, guys. Come on.
It's amazing. Sometimes you say, "Hey, Godfather," start talking about it, and people say, "Oh, I've never seen that." What rock are you under? I get offended with people, but I've never seen Nightcrawler. Is it?
Oh,
Oh,
you
yeah.
must. You gotta
I've
go.
never-
You gotta see
It's
it.
Really?
it's really good.
Mm.
I think
Well,
Jake Gyllenhaal also like lost like 20, 30 pounds this role. His eyes are so like set in his
Ooh,
head.
wow,
He just
yeah.
is like he's like he just
Yeah.
looks creepy. Like physically,
I
he
gotta-
transforms himself for this movie somehow.
Well,
So,
like I said, I've got shoulder surgery coming up, and I'm going to be laid up for about a month. So
There
I
you
got a lot
go.
of TV,
Yeah.
a lot of movies to watch.
Mhm.
So, but anyway, yeah.
all right. So great picks, everyone. Last thing we're gonna just cover tonight is our movie musings, and this is the part of the show where anything we want to plug or mention with our life in movies or TV shows that we've watched over the past week, or anything that we're looking forward to seeing that's coming to the theater or streaming on VOD. This is the opportunity where we can just mention it. So we'll kind of go around the table right here. Ellie, I see you've got a few things here you want to mention, so I'm just gonna like hand it over.
Do you want me to go through all of them?
I would say I see a lot here, so maybe
I just really
highlight.
I'm gonna tell you really quickly. I watched The Crown, the series,
Mhm.
and it makes me mad. The Queen makes me mad. That's all I'm gonna say. Okay. Squid Game. I thought I was watching the Squid Game series again.
This is like the contestant game show that we're talking about. This is
it
new.
wasn't until they get shot that I realized this isn't the same idea from before. So the actual Squid Game series season 2 is coming out, I think, in December. But this is the whatever they call it, real reality show.
Yeah.
Didn't like it. Don't care for it. It's lame.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Why? You have a question?
Oh, okay. Go ahead.
No,
Go ahead.
so it's the sort of the same. You've seen the Squid Games, I'm assuming.
I saw the TV show that came out like 2 years ago.
Yes, and so it's based off of that, but it's the reality show, and I don't
Nobody
like
gets
it. I don't like it because it's just, it's just if they're not gonna kill you in the show, then I don't care.
So just so that nobody gets confused, there's this Squid Game, which was a dramatic series, which came out in, I think, 2021.
Yeah.
There's a new show called Squid Game: The Challenge, which is a reality competition show, which just got dropped on Netflix, I think within the last week or two.
Yes, it did.
So I have no interest in this either because I don't
No.
do any reality TV.
No, I don't do reality TV either, except
Yeah.
for like, maybe Selling Sunset. Because, Selling Sunset, come on. Anyhow, and I love the Selling Sunset clothes. Anyway, Squid Game, Escaping Twin Flames. Oh my goodness. I watched 30 minutes of this then, and I had to switch it because I don't care.
I powered through, Ellie. I powered through for both of
Did
us.
you? B, you're better. You're a better person than I am because I thought it's like, what is this? This is boring. I don't really care. So
What's the
these were
premise?
these were the most bullshit Tiger King cult leaders. I was like, who would fall for these people? They suck.
Oh, I don't know anything about this. What is the premise of Escaping Twin Flames?
Oh, go ahead, B. Say it. Tell it. Because I'm not.
It's essentially a cult that was started like almost like a pyramid scheme scam where some guy was like, I can get you to find true love. True love's a business, and I'm with my soulmate, and we can get you to be with your soulmate twin flame person. You just have to buy all this stuff and take all these classes and do all this pseudo therapy. And it was like a lot of it was done over Zoom, and it was just weird and
Hard
I
pass.
feel bad for anyone who
The
falls
fact that
victim to
people will
anything, but-
fall for that, like, they really do. Like, why?
No thanks.
Yeah. Okay. And then, so I'm just going to say, Fry Bread Face and Me. Okay. Shout out. I'm going to do a shout out to Billy Luther. He is the writer, the screenplay. He wrote the screenplay and he's a director. He's a Native American independent film producer and director. He's made several documentaries and short films. And he belongs to the Navajo Hopi and Laguna Pueblo tribes. And Fry Bread Face and Me is a coming of age film. And it explores the Navajo heritage and the struggles of a young boy finding his identity. So why I love this film, and Billy, if you hear this podcast, man, your movie popped by chance on Netflix was it 2 days ago, and I was looking for something to watch, and everything seemed boring, and then this pops up, and I just started watching. By the way, please help me, Taikiki. I can't.
Taika Waititi.
Yeah, he's the executive director of this film. Martin Sans Mayer, I can't say his name. He's in this film as well, and he was in, I think, that other series called 1892 or something like that.
1883.
1880, yeah. And I love him as an actor, and what a surprise! Billy Luther has this movie. Billy, you make me cry. You make me laugh. The humor, it's not overdone. It's not dramatic. It's not everyone. It's just such a heartfelt movie. And I relate to it being, also indigenous, growing up with my grandmother. Everything in this film reminded me of when I was a young girl, like the boy in the movie, and spending my summers at my grandmother's house, just, learning things about our heritage. She would sit for hours. She would do my hair. One of the things in the film, one of the lines in the film that the grandma says, by the way, the grandma speaks in Navajo to the young boy, and they don't translate that into English. So there's subtitles at some points, but not when there's interaction between the grandma and the young boy. And I think I know why that is. And I think it's marvelous that they didn't translate, because you don't need to. You understand what's going on by the way she speaks and what she's doing. But what I love so much is that the connection this film brings that family. In every family there's like the cousins that you're gonna fight, you're not gonna see eye to eye, or the auntie that you're not gonna see eye to eye with, or you have your own ways, or maybe you grew up more Americanized than you did Native American, or I'm sorry, indigenous. And that's what this movie does. I mean, there's a part in the movie where the grandma is washing the boy's hair and says, shampoo, don't use shampoo because shampoo is a wise man's product and it's gonna make your hair fall or something like that. And I remember my grandma saying something very similar, don't use chemicals, don't use shampoo, it's going to drop your hair. And so, don't cut your hair because we as indigenous have love to keep our hair long. And there's a scene where these two cousins connect in this in at their grandmother's house, and they're so far away from each other, like the way he's from the city, she lives in the reservation, and there's couldn't be more different. And she carries around a Cabbage Patch Kid doll that's kind of like beheaded, and it just keeps falling. It keeps losing the head, and I believe what is the name of the I can't think of the name. It gives. She gives the doll a name of one of an actor. I can't think of the name, but so much humor in there, and it's so beautifully done. I have not seen a movie from an independent director, writer, so well done and so heartfelt and not over the top, and yet it grabs you. So Billy Luther, yay! I'm so excited. I'm going to watch it again and again and again because I loved it that much.
Well, I'm putting it on my Netflix queue, so thank you. All right. Okay. Is that it? Is that it, Ellie?
Yes, watch it.
Okay.
If you have Netflix,
All right.
watch the movie.
All right. Very good. All right. B, what would you like to mention?
Sure. So I wasn't on the podcast last week because it was my birthday.
Yay. Happy birthday. Belated birthday, but yes.
Feliz cumpleaños.
Thank you. So my partner and I did dinner and a movie classic, and we went to go see the Hunger Games. Whatever. And Paul, it's a good thing you don't like sequels because this was a prequel. And
Okay.
And it was
Is Jennifer
pretty good.
Lawrence? Jennifer Lawrence in it still?
Sorry?
She's still in it, Jennifer Lawrence. Oh,
yeah.
No.
This takes place how many decades before the Hunger Games movies? This is like long before, right? Like the first Hunger Games.
It's like the fifth Hunger Games. Like it's super early on. Best installment of the series, maybe in the franchise. I thought it was really great. It's on a curve. It's not my favorite franchise, but I thought it was really well executed. I thought it looked great. I thought the storyline moved. I thought all the acting from the side characters and stuff was great. My one issue with the movie is that, and this might be a little bit of a hot take, I don't love Rachel Zegler. I don't really know much about her, but everything I've seen her in, she sort of overacts. Like she has this very stage way of acting, and I just really didn't buy her as some like pseudo Appalachian person from a mining community. So to zoom out a little bit, it's sort of telling the story again of someone coming from a poorer district to fight in the Capitol in the Hunger Games. It's interesting to see the Hunger Games when they're still really early on in their inception. You see some of the technology and stuff they're using kind of failing. The sets are a little more dystopic. I do think it's the most dystopic and apocalyptic kind of Hunger Games that you see. But I just don't super buy her as the lead. But there were moments where she was really great, and they make her sing a lot. And if you do that, it's just magic because she has a beautiful singing voice. So kind of won me over with that. So I thought it was really good. I thought it was better than the original trilogy. So, and then I went to
Quadrilogy. Quadrilogy.
That's too many.
There were 4 of them, right? They broke up the third book into 2 movies. So, yeah. Anyways, go ahead.
No, that's true. I forgot about that. And then I went to the theater again to see The Holdovers, and I thought that was just like a warm hug of a movie. We had been excited for that one, and I thought that was really great. And also just kind of an unexpected love letter to Boston. It was so fun to watch them just sort of driving around in the winter in Boston. That just felt really, there's something kind of romantic about it. And I thought it was really pretty beautiful.
It was.
Yeah, that was
yes.
my week.
Yeah. Okay. Fantastic. All right. So I will say I also saw The Holdovers last week, or actually probably a couple weeks ago. I didn't get to mention it on the last week's show, but again, I loved this movie. And I think in my review, I said that Alexander Payne absolutely just schooled Hollywood. This feels like a lost 70s classic to me. I love how this movie deals with grief. Currently, I've mentioned this, I think, a few times in the podcast. I'm in the midst of a Robert Altman retrospective, and I just finished a few of his early films, like MASH and McCabe and Miss Miller and The Long Goodbye. And Alexander Payne has made a movie that I feel is spot on with the aesthetic of movies made in this era. It feels like a movie that could have been produced. The way he shot it looks like it was made in the early 70s. I think this is also a career-defining performance for Paul Giamatti. It is, and that's saying a lot because his other movie that I think is incredible is Sideways, and just him reuniting with Alexander Payne. This was right up there with it, maybe even better. It was a wonderful performance. My other note I'll just mention here, society screwed up when we said goodbye to 70s hairstyles. Absolutely. I'm thinking about now letting, I'm in my late 40s now, and I'm very, very thankful that I have the hair that I do, but now I'm thinking I just got to let it grow out and just get some big, heavy duty, like fro going or something. I need to.
How's Lori feeling about
I have to take advantage of this because it's going to be gone someday. I realize this, and I can't take this for granted.
Ooh, 70s hairstyle sucked.
No, it was like I think there was an
Is that shampoo? It's the shampoo, man.
It's the shampoo. It's
I'm telling you.
People shampoo.
Shampoo did it. Yeah, perhaps.
Head and shoulders.
And the ending of this, I'm not going to give anything away, but the ending just crept up on me. I found myself choked up on this, and it just 100% stuck the landing. Shout out to I think Divine Joy Randolph, who at first is, you don't really know how important she's going to be, her role in this movie, but she becomes a central figure, and I love her in this. She is key to the Paul Giamatti character and his character growth, and I would love to see her get a Best Supporting Actress nod. So
I totally agree. She was amazing.
Yeah.
I really loved what she did.
And there's no doubt Giamatti will get a Best Actor nomination, I think. And if he doesn't, I will eat my shoes. So that's all I got to say about The Holdovers right now. I did start watching Monarch Legacy of Monsters, which is streaming on Apple TV Plus, or is Apple TV? I forget. I was about to cancel my Apple TV subscription because I'm like, Ted Lasso is gone, and I don't know if it's coming back. They haven't announced that it's over officially, and Shrinking isn't coming back for like a while. So I'm like, there really isn't anything keeping me on Apple right now. So I'm like, I'm going to cancel this. And then they just drop a Godzilla franchise on me. And I am a sucker for like kaiju movies. And I saw this. I'm like, I have to check this out. I am hooked, but I'm not hooked for the reasons that I thought it was going to be. This is not what I expected. It is not a monster bash, but maybe that's a good thing, because I think one of the problems with the Monsterverse that's been going on is that the character drama kind of sucks in a lot of these movies. And the funny thing is, this show is heavy into character drama.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen, and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Jen Air at build.com/Ferguson.
This is where projects come to life. Our showrooms are designed to inspire with the latest products from top brands, curated in an inviting, hands-on environment, and a team of industry experts to support your project. We'll be there to make sure everything goes as planned, from product selection to delivery coordination. At Ferguson Bath, Kitchen and Lighting Gallery, your project is our priority.
Schedule your showroom consultation and see more from brands like Monogram at build.com/Ferguson.
But it seems to be working for me for some reason. The amount of monster action in this is like 3% of these shows. And I've only seen 3 episodes of it as of this recording. But for some reason, I'm really into these characters because I feel like they've actually cracked the code of making interesting characters and giving them stakes. And I love the fact that Kurt Russell's in this and his son, Wyatt Russell, who for the first time they actually paired as father and son. No, the same character, but at different eras. And they haven't fully explained how they are father and son when they should be like way different in age. And I don't know where they're going with this yet. Yeah. And the movie's kind of crazy, jumping back and forth in time and stuff like that. I don't know where this is going, but right now I'm on board. It comes out on Wednesdays on Apple TV. So I'm seeing where it goes, but yeah, I'm digging it so far. I am. Paul, you said you were watching this?
Yeah, I watch a review online, reviewer who went on for like 40 minutes about connecting Godzilla 2014 and all the MonsterVerse stuff, and like, what the hell is he talking about? So I'm not that well versed in all that, but they alluded to the fact that, and I love seeing Kurt Russell too. Who doesn't love Kurt Russell? But he's got to be 90 in this thing, not in real life, but he looks pretty damn good for 90 for playing a 90-year-old. So that's a little, you got to kind of suspend disbelief.
Well, I think they're going to explain that because he clearly is not 90 in this show. And they actually called it out. Some character says, shouldn't you be like in your 90s?
Yeah.
And
he said something about he got good genes or something like that.
Yeah, they're going to, that is a thread they're going to come back to because there's a reason for that, I think.
But I liked how they used the father morphed back into the son or vice versa, right? And you can see, I mean, they get the same jawline and everything. And Kurt Russell is Kurt Russell, and his son is not as good as his dad.
No,
but he's pretty good. But I saw 3 episodes. I'm gonna watch the last one, and we'll go from.
Well, I think it's 8 episodes long, the whole thing.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
Oh,
it ain't ending for a while.
Oh, yeah. Altogether, there will be 8. Yeah.
And the last thing I'll mention is I finally did catch up with the latest MCU installment earlier this week. I think I have more to say about my feelings, and that's, of course, the Marvels. I think I have more to say about my feelings as a whole. I don't know what I have really mixed feelings about this because, I've been watching these movies for 15 years. And again, I feel like, what do I have to say about this that hasn't been said 1,000 times all over the internet so far? I found this movie to be very mid-tier Marvel, but I guess what I want to say is that I found this to be a chore getting out to the theater to see this. I haven't missed a Marvel film in the theater since the MCU started. Yeah, I'm explaining. Going back to Iron Man, these were events that for me, I could not miss in the theater. So the other night when I knew I had the opportunity to head to the theater to see the Marvels, I knew that it wasn't performing well. And there wasn't going to be that much more time remaining for me to see this if I didn't see it a few days ago. And I'll admit, there were other films last Friday I was eyeballing, such as Napoleon, which I'm really eager to see, or Eli Roth's new film Thanksgiving, which I really want to see as well. And it's also just, that time of year where there's just a lot of films that we've been waiting that are being unloaded into the theater right now. But the point is, I wasn't really looking forward to seeing this in the end. And a night where I had the chance to see something, I went to see a movie that was probably like the 4th thing that I wanted to see that night. And
well, that's on you.
It is on me. And I went to see it, I think, for the sake of tradition or obligation, or maybe for nostalgia. But nonetheless, the Marvels I thought was just okay. It looked like every other Marvel film I've seen over the last couple of years. It had the same flavor. And I think that's what's hurting these movies. you can swap out the superheroes, bring in auteur directors, raise the stakes, do whatever. But the problem still remains is that we're ordering off the same menu. I feel like the Marvels was just more of the same for me, and more of the same during a time when this franchise desperately needs a facelift. I think it's just spelling a problem for Disney. So there's nothing wrong with this movie at all. It is completely competent superhero movie with really good performances, but the problem is it's just more of the same, and that is becoming to the point where it's just not good enough when it's the same good superhero movie. That's all. So that's I think that's what a lot of people are echoing.
Can
Yeah.
I speak as an old guy? I
Yeah.
can't stand superhero movies. I've not seen a Marvel movie. I saw the last movie I saw was Star Trek, not Star Trek, Star Wars back in the day, and I loved it because it was high. Well, I don't know. There's just so much emphasis on these big budget superhero, big name movies, and I know they sell, and that's why they do them. If they didn't sell, they wouldn't be doing them. But I mean, I'm old fashioned. I like good story based.
You know, we don't have
I'm
to
with
go
Paul
off on a
too.
rant.
I'm with Paul on that. I
I
don't.
mean, you talk about Altman. I love 70s movies are awesome. I mean,
I think, Paul, what made these superhero movies special was the connected universe for these for a while. And again, I understand that these aren't your things, but I don't think these movies would be anything if it wasn't for the fact that for a while, all these movies you had. I will get into it. Like all these phases of the Marvel Cinematic Universe was building. You had all these Iron Man and Guardians of the Galaxy and the Hulk and all these characters and all these standalone films building toward one thing coming together, which has never been done before, ever. And that's what I think was special about it, where people got excited. It's been done now. You can't do it again. And you can change the big baddie, you can change the heroes, but it's already happened. And they're trying to do things with like a multiverse and things like that, but it's becoming complicated. And I think people are, again, the fatigue is here. And I think we're not going to get into it, but I'm just saying
Listen, if Chris Evans is not Captain America, then I don't care for any of them.
Yeah, I mean, but I think that's a surface level complaint about all of this. You know, your actors can change up. Some people are going to care more about Robert Downey Jr. or Chris Evans or Chris Pratt's not in this movie. It's all going to be one person's not going to like something about this. But I think there's a more global issue than my favorite actor's not in the movie anymore. So, but
they stop making money, they ain't going to be making them.
Well,
it's all bottom line.
it's true. It's true. But
Can I give a quick
you know,
shout out
in 2024, there's only one Marvel movie coming out, and it's really not even an MCU movie. It's Deadpool 3, and that is that's the first time in like 14 years there's only been one superhero movie from Marvel coming out. So it'll be interesting how they are going to recover. But that is another podcast.
Yeah.
Anyways, Paul, is there anything? Oh, I want to say one quick thing. My Blu-ray player died.
Who?
My Blu-ray player. I use physical media still.
What the hell is a Blueberry player?
A Blu-ray player. My Blu-ray player died.
Blu-ray player.
Blu-ray. Oh, it's a Blueberry. You said it's
yeah, and it's black, and it's Cyber Monday. So I might after this, I might go run out and finally upgrade to a 4K player.
You have until midnight.
So here's the thing. This is a separate rant. You know, I just on last Wednesday, I had the day off. I'm like, it's the day before Thanksgiving. I'm going to take some time. We talked about this before we started recording. I am great shopping for myself, not for others. And I went around to all my favorite places like the thrift stores and the Goodwill, and what I did was I go around and find like the $2, $3 Blu-rays. And I picked up like American Gangster and Angels and Demons. It's funny. I have them right here. I found like The Hangover unrated on this. But what I love about Blu-rays for a time is that this is where you could get like director's commentary and all these awesome special features. You can't get this stuff on streaming anywhere. But what I'm discovering is I also walked into a Best Buy the same day, And I realized that Best Buy is soon going to be getting rid of physical media completely. And you're going to have to mostly get the stuff either at like Walmart or Target or mostly online now. But Blu-rays, new Blu-rays, and they still do manufacture Blu-rays, they don't have special features anymore. It's all on the new 4K discs. And I'm like, wow, if I were to ever buy a new Blu-ray, and I was looking around, I'm big into the special features. I'm big into director's commentary. New Blu-rays don't have them anymore. They used to. It used to be that they would have that stuff. And then I started looking at the 4K discs, and they're loaded with all these special features. Like, what gives? So I think I'm at a point now where if I want those things, I need to get the 4K player anyways. So I don't know. Where does it? I know you're
pretty
you're into-
Blu-rayed out right now, Nathan.
What do you mean by? I don't know what you mean.
I don't even know how to work the VHS.
Okay. But anyways, I'm just really upset that, studios still make Blu-rays, but they completely abandoned the special features on the new Blu-ray disc. So they make
I have so much to say about this.
Okay.
Special features are 2 movies in one?
No. Like, I'm just saying, like, I just picked up like American Gangster. I love this film. We did Ridley Scott last week. This here, any of the movies that I got, all of our film noir films, like American Gigolo, we watched Black Rain, we watched Body Heat, all those things, new discs made in the last like 6 years. None of them had any like director's commentary on it, or special features were bare minimum. But if I were to look at like, new 4K versions of them, not many of them had them, but they all have like feature commentary from the director, deleted scenes, documentaries, and all these special features on 4K. This is probably not something that I meant to get into like in a big way on the podcast, but I just wanted to say that my Blu-ray player died. I'm going to get a 4K player, and I'm ranting on the fact that Blu-rays no longer have special features. That's all.
Blu-ray company. We're going to have to talk to them.
That's all.
Paul!
Can I just say one thing?
Yo.
I'm sorry.
All right.
My one thing is, I'll tell you, Nathan, I regret not getting region free, because a lot of the 4K Blu-rays that I want that have the awesome special features are from boutique companies like Criterion, Arrow, Oscilloscope, like just some of these more
ooh.
And I was looking for a movie and I can't remember what it was. Oh, I loved Amoria with Tilda Swinton when it came out. That was my favorite movie of the year. And I was so on board with the film and so not on board with Neon's release schedule because it was crazy. And they haven't done a physical release of that film except in England, and you could get it for like a month. But because I don't have a region-free Blu-ray player, I'm never going to be able to own that movie. And that stinks. So it's something to think about. Think about region free. Also think about your boutique sort of, because I'm like you, like I got moonstruck by going into the dollar store. I got like 10 horror movies in one, the Brain Dead series. Like I love those kind of DVDs and Blu-rays, but they're harder and harder to come by.
Yeah,
I'll sell you all my DVDs. Heck, I don't care.
You're on.
Okay. Different worlds. All right.
Pretty much. I was just sitting here and I try to think like, there must be something really good about Blu-rays that I'm missing.
Well, it's anything you stream, the compression is a lot high. You know what? We're not going to get into this. This is another podcast.
God, you're geeking me out of this.
I know. That's Paul, why do you go? What have you been watching?
Sound quality is so much better if you have a home audio, if you have a system at home.
Surround system.
Yeah. It's like night and day, number one, versus like streaming. But it doesn't matter. If you don't care about that stuff, then you don't care. It doesn't matter.
I just care.
If you're listening to movies on your TV speakers, then you don't care.
I watch movies.
That's why I have closed captioning.
Yeah.
I was watching The Crown the other day. So I love English accents. Some of it's so hard. So screw it. I'm going to put it on closed captioning.
All right, I'm guessing that 90% of our audience has turned the podcast off by now. So let's
what's Paul going to recommend?
Paul, anything you want to mention that you're watching or want to watch or looking forward to?
No.
No.
Not really.
Okay. Anything that you're working on professionally you're welcome to plug it.
Well, I'll do it briefly. There's 2 little-known female heroes that I've been working on. She Who Dared by Gabby Rossum. I don't know if anybody knows Gabby.
Yes.
She just optioned a book about Lois Weber, who's the show's about. She does this beautiful proof of concept. Lois Weber was a silent film director in the 20s, who really nobody knows about. But she was making movies about women, geared to women. And she just got beaten down by the rich white male movie machine in Hollywood. And she died. I think she died broke. She died from Crohn's disease, which may have been brought about by stress. But Gabby did this amazing, it's like a pilot based on her life, and she's trying to get it made into a full feature. So she optioned this book. So that's huge.
Yeah.
And the other one is Sweet Freedom by Alyssa Batello. I was in that. It's based on the life of Polly Johnson, who was a free black woman in New Bedford in the mid-1800s, who had the most successful confectionery store in the city. And she was the richest person of color in the city at that time. Amazing story. Nobody knows about her, but she was on the Underground Railroad. She housed Frederick Douglass and his wife for like 4 years. She's a hero. I mean,
These are the stories I live for, Paul.
I love stuff like this.
Yeah, I
films
totally
like this.
do. You're so lucky.
Yeah.
And shout out to Gabrielle Roson. Did I say it right?
Rossum, yeah.
Roson.
Yeah.
Shout out to her because honestly, as a female artist, for me, she's an inspiration.
She is. I love that.
She's brought that. I've seen the trailer, just the trailer. I haven't seen the film, unfortunately, not yet. But I hopefully in the future. But just the trailer alone is so grabbing, and I thought, wow, what a great trailer. And I think that from what I'm hearing, and just a little bit of the story that she gave us on her website, I am just so inspired by the whole story that, female directors are so underrepresented in this industry, and to have the story of a woman who practically a pioneer woman who
was a pioneer.
And then Gabrielle comes and kind of does that story, and I thought, this is what I live for.
It's got to be great.
Yeah.
You're right. I'm so lucky to get involved with
you are
projects
so
like this.
lucky. Yeah.
You get to wear costumes from the different periods, which is really cool.
That is so freaking cool. Yeah.
Well, it's great. I mean, I love it. And speaking of great female directors, there's a great interview with Greta Gerwig in this month's Vanity Fair, which is awesome. Should read that. And
I love her.
But anyway, I love just doing these projects that have meaning and have to and tell a story. I'm a huge fan of small films that are conversational. I wrote one that I don't know if you're Samantha Valletta. She's a terrific actor in the Boston area. I wrote it just for her and I. It's a 2-hander. It takes place in an airport lounge. We're trying to get it funded now. We're trying to find an airport to film it. It just takes place in a lounge, and it's just 2 people connecting. And the theme of it is it's a grieving kind of thing.
We're missing stories like that. We're missing stories like that. I think.
No, that's why I write stories like that. Because they say if you want to be in a movie that you want to be,
you have to write it.
Write the shit that you want to be in.
Yeah,
so
that's for
sure.
Actor,
I can kill 2 birds with 1 stone.
By the way, what nobody knows in this podcast is that I'm a huge, and I'm talking huge fan of Paul, the actor.
Oh, thank you, honey. I appreciate that.
I am.
You're sweet.
Yeah.
I can't believe we haven't worked together, but we will.
We will.
Nathan produced kind of thing.
Yeah, Nathan.
I got to get back into producing, and I haven't written anything for a while. It's been a year and a half. I've been doing this, and I've been so busy with. I run the Weston Media Center, and it's so time consuming lately. And when things kind of slow down, I get to do some writing and producing. I haven't done a movie in over a year, so I hope that I have a bunch of scripts. I tried to do something over the summer, it just didn't come together. But We'll get there.
Oh, by the way, Sam, if you're listening, you missed it. You missed the Great Paul podcast. You missed it.
Well, we're gonna try to twist Paul's arm to return to the show sometime if he had a good time.
Guys, I found the name of the doll. Remember the doll, the beheaded doll in the movie, Fried Bread Face and Me? It's called Jeff Bridges. The doll, and they call the doll Jeff Bridges, and it's out of love for Starman, the only movie they have on VHS. In the movie, that's the only movie they can watch on VHS. It's Starman, and it's
great.
I do love Starman.
Jeff Bridges is awesome.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Did you ever hear? Did you guys listen to the Smartless podcast?
No.
Oh, it's so good. Oh, it's one of the biggest podcasts out there.
We don't plug other podcasts in the podcasts.
Jason Bateman, Sean Hayes, and
Jason Bateman. What's
Jason Bateman? Yeah, it's called Smartless.
Smartless.
It's Jason Bateman, Will Thornton, Will. God, he's got this great voice. He does a GMC commercial. Anyway, and Sean Hayes
podcast.
And they have the most amazing guests. They had Jeff Bridges on. They've had Biden. They had Joe Biden on. They had, and it's just a conversation with these people. They had McCartney on. All these Spielberg, amazing array of guests on there. So if you guys love acting in theater, which you clearly do,
yes,
you got. Theater and films. You got to listen to that podcast. I mean, it's great. It's a lot of just chatter with these guys busting each other's balls, which is fun.
You mean
they've been friends?
We don't do that enough here, huh? We got to do that,
no,
Nathan.
Not nearly enough. Well, Sam wasn't here, so I mean, if
Sam was here, there'd be a lot more.
Oh yeah.
Oh my God. Yeah. But anyway, so that's that. I just a lot of good stuff going on, and thank you for having me on. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think Sam can take a break more often if he wants to.
We work him hard.
Yeah, for sure.
It's fun to work with. I did that film Mark with him. It was in Mr. Berthune. I can't remember his name, but it was fun. It was a fun shot at Sam's house, or his dad's house in Westport, in the middle of the night. It was a good shoot, and it won awards. Apparently, I don't know why, but it did.
All right. Well, I think that we're gonna wrap it up.
Wrap it up like the wrap.
That concludes our show for this week. We sincerely appreciate your listenership. As a final reminder, if you're enjoying what you hear, please consider leaving a rating and review. Your support truly brightens our day. The ideal platforms for this are Apple Podcasts or iTunes, or whichever platform you use to access our content. To stay updated, don't forget to subscribe to our monthly newsletter, Frame Rate Monthly, by sending an email to backtotheframerate@gmail.com. Back to the Frame Rate is a proud member of the Weston Media Podcast Network. Stay connected with us on Facebook and Instagram, TikTok, and what else do we got? We are on Threads. I already said Instagram. Anyways, you can find all that at Back to the Frame Rate. And of course, the most effective way to support us is by sharing our episodes. Oh, also on YouTube. We have a YouTube channel. I forgot to mention that. Yeah.
Where you can watch us.
Yes, you can watch us too. And of course, the most effective way to support us is by sharing our episodes on your social media platforms.
Back to the Frame Rate. Back to the Frame Rate. Back to the Frame Rate.
Don't ever do that again. That's it. The show is over. Goodbye.
I want you to know it's over.
Well, bye.